17 years old with autism and learning disabilities. A person who was then kept in a room measuring 10 feet by 12 feet, being fed through a hatch in the door and being kept mostly in isolation for nearly 2 years.
That is what's happening to a girl named Bethany in a private hospital in Northampton. We can only tell you about this because her father has fought a gagging order by his counsel, and he can chat to us on the sofa today.
Last night it was announced that her treatment is the subject of an investigation launched by the Health Secretary, Matt Hancock. Well, we're going to talk to her father, Jeremy, in just a moment. First, though, here's Jane McCubbin, who's been taking a look at Bethany's story.
This is the sound of Beth singing to her father on the phone from her room in a hospital. She's been in isolation here for almost 2 years. And 2 weeks ago, her father told BBC File on 4 that when he visits, contact is through a hatch in her door.
All there is in this room is a bed and a chair. It's no bigger than 10 feet by 12 feet.
He's describing care in a private assessment and treatment unit, which costs the NHS £13,000 a week.
Hi, Beth. What have you been up to today?
Absolutely nothing as normal. Sitting in a room with the door closed, hardly doing anything. Could be better.
What would make it better?
If I wasn't where I was at the moment.
A day after this broadcast, the family's local authority issued an injunction to try and stop them talking to the press. The council lost. Walsall Council told us it considers it a priority to protect confidentiality. St Andrew's Hospital told us there is a national shortage of community placements, and while the hospital provides care as best it can, it can't comment further on Bethany's case for reasons of confidentiality.
Well, Bethany's father, Jeremy, is with us now. Good morning.
Good morning.
How is Bethany at the moment?
Her position is unchanged. She's still in that cell. It's horrendous to visit and kneel down and talk to your daughter through hatches.
The reason she is in that cell is what? What is the reason you are given that she is still in that room, 10 feet by 12 feet?
Her part of autism is pathological demand avoidance.
What is so pathological
demand avoidance. She can't cope with everyday pressures. Being told to have a shower removes her need to be in control of her life, for example. That triggers massive, massive anxiety levels.
How does that anxiety emanate? How does that...
She will either want flight, to run away from that situation, trying to take over the control, or she will want to fight.
So that comes out in some type of violence, is that fair to say?
Yes, she will be aggressive.
And she's been aggressive to staff in the past? I'm trying to get to the reason as to why they say she needs to be in this room and fed through a hatch. She's a dangerous 17-year-old girl?
She's not. If you remove the causes of the anxiety,
right.
Beth is a wonderful person. It's just they have given this diagnosis and then not followed up with the support. She has agency staff of an evening and of a weekend. She's never met them before. That causes anxiety. She then explodes into these PDA meltdowns, and they keep her more locked away.
Jeremy, I mean, looking at it from the outside, it's really harrowing what you're having to do as a father. Was it ever, do you think, justified for her to be in that circumstance? Because people might be thinking initially when she first got there, you know, as an interim measure, I don't know. Do you think it ever was and it just became the norm?
The problem has been, the fight has been the recognition of the PDA. It's always been classed as Beth is autistic, and all of the care she's had before has been focused around boundaries. Boundaries are orders. Orders cause anxiety to Beth.
And in the circumstance she's in now, do you see what is the impact of that on her? How is that affecting her?
She's massively, massively institutionalised. She doesn't know the world outside. She hasn't seen daylight or the sky at night for 22 months. How would you cope with that?
Is her condition being worsened by the way she's been treated?
Absolutely. She's talking to imaginary friends now. She's nearly 18.
How often do you see her?
The family sees her every single week. every week.
And what does that visit entail? How close can you get to Bethany?
We talk through the hatch. I kneel on the floor with my hands on the doorway of that hatch, and I put my chin on that hatch and I talk to my daughter.
What does she understand about the circumstance she's in?
Bethany feels that it's her fault. She's trapped there. And
when you have those conversations, I mean, is she asking to be released? Is she asking to be in a different...
Beth's total focus is what's happening, what's the next step? Have you got any news about where I'm going?
Now, when you hear from the local authority, and maybe you can update us, I mean, has there been any change in what they're saying to you about her circumstances?
The Twitter activity for the last 2 weeks following the Radio 4 show has been amazing. The support that has come forward has rattled so many cages that we now have so many commissioners on board. There are experts in PDA now involved. So it's worked.
But officially, her situation remains the same?
Yes, yes. There are no firm plans as yet, other than to support her with a core team of staff. That hasn't yet begun, but is happening soon.
What's the ideal scenario now, the ideal situation for Bethany to be kept in?
Exactly what St Andrews told us 18 months ago, which is that Beth needs to move to a community placement and to be cared for by staff who are aware of her condition and to support her in that.
Can I just ask you, Jeremy, do you remember the first time you realised the condition she was kept in? I mean, there presumably was a day when you went to visit her and you find her in the place she's in now.
We weren't even told that she'd been moved to this seclusion cell. We walked in and were just taken through to her. That's how I found out.
What was the explanation you were given?
That she's just aggressive, that they need to do this to keep her safe and to keep the staff safe.
Well, we await to find out whether or not there will be a change. Really appreciate you coming to talk to us this morning. And, of course, we'll keep people updated on what happens. Thank you.